What's up, guys? Welcome to a combo episode of What's the Spread and Bankroll Blitz. It's Brad Thomas here. I have Bobby at Prop Holiday, and we have Miles Markowitz, Miles on Sports. Fellas, thank you so much for deciding to do this with me. It's so exciting. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Basketball is in full swing, NBA and now March Madness. So all is well in the world.
And Final Four Saturday, one of those great sports days of the year. So let's get to it.
I'm so excited to talk about some college basketball. Normally we talk about football. Now we're talking about basketball. Let's start with the first game. We have the number 2 seed Villanova taking on the number 1 seed Kansas Jayhawks, the only number 1 seed to make it to the Final Four. Kansas a 4-point spread. I will kick it off. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jayhawks. And reason being, losing more for Villanova was so detrimental, especially you think about they only ran a 6-man rotation. Now they're bringing in a very inexperienced player to fill into that 2-guard role. Man, we are in the Final Four. I said this a couple years ago, and I found it reappears on my Twitter every year for that time hop. You always want to take teams who have experience. Don't trust young leaders out on the court. And yes, they have Colin Gillespie, but when you're running in new guys in very, very pivotal roles, it's tough. I like Abaji too. I'm a big Abaji guy, and we got to think Bill Self gets his revenge. He's 0-2 against Wright in the tournament. I like Kansas -4.
I guess I'll be the guy that goes the other way. So I had a future on Nova before the entire tournament started. I got him. I threw $50 on him at 21, so 1,000 to win the whole tournament. Biased against Villanova just because I've been riding him the whole way. But as you pointed out, only going 6 deep and then losing one of your starters. What I do like about Villanova, obviously, it's coaching. Jay Wright, one of the best coaches over the last decade in college basketball. You mentioned Gillespie. I actually love Jalen Samuels. Almost 8.5 rebounds per game, 15 points per game. Love the way I actually think he's going to sneak in maybe to the late first round of the NBA draft. A lot of NBA teams need him. He looks like he's got an NBA body already, but I'm siding with Villanova. I'm going to waive the points. I'm going to take a money line, ride my bet. But if that's not enough value for you, Jalen Samuels to win most outstanding player is 15-1. And it always goes to someone who it goes to the national champion. So you can rest easy knowing that. I'm going to ride with Samuels at 15-1, and I'm going to take Nova money line. I'm going to take Nova money line. They've been able to squeak out games. If you prove that you can win close games, you can win in crunch time. I think that matters, especially in the national championship. So I'm going to ride with Nova, despite losing more to an ACL, which really sucks.
Yeah, and if you would have asked me up to the second that they lost more, I was riding Nova to the end to win the whole tournament. Now, with him being out, I don't want that to change my bet too much here. So I'm also going to ride Nova +4, and I'm taking Nova money line too. I'm taking Nova to still win this game, beat Kansas. And originally, I was like, how do I not take Kansas to win this game? Especially with that devastating injury. Brad, you brought up good points there because I was thinking the same thing. This drastically changes their rotation that was already shorthanded. With only 6 or 7 guys, there's not a lot of depth there. If Kansas comes out with the depth that they have, that could be dangerous. But I got Nova here jumping out to a lead early, holding on to it. We saw what happened with the Kansas-Miami game, right? I mean, they were not ready to play in the first half. Now, they had a great second half, don't get me wrong, but Nova in this tournament has proven that they can get out to fast starts, and they've also proven that clutch factor. So I don't really know what to expect with this new rotation, especially going in, being that we are at the Final Four. But who knows how much the line would have changed. But I'm sticking with Nova here.
I'm glad you guys mentioned Samuels because today on TikTok, I actually dropped a prop bet for Samuels over 14.5 points. You're losing 14 points from Moore, and you're losing 6 3-point field goal attempts. Gillespie's going to take his attempts, so he knows they're going to be there. The freshman who's coming in, he's going to take maybe 2 attempts. I think that gives Samuels more opportunity. And one thing that you notice when you watch Villanova play, especially when Moore's in the game, Samuel passes up a lot of open threes. I think he has the opportunity to be very selfish. So I back that. And I'm surprised the line is still at -110. It will not be there come Saturday. I know that for sure. If you really guys want to get really cheeky, take his double-double total, because like you said, he's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game over his last 4 games, and he did have a double-double in his last game. I think he went 22 and 10, somewhere around there.
I mean, and we all saw the TikTok. We saw who Kansas has beaten to get here. And now,
Yep.
obviously, not TikTok shouldn't sway us, but let's take a look. They beat Providence, they
Yep.
beat Creighton. And the only thing I think, I mean, obviously, they came back at halftime against Miami. Miami couldn't buy a bucket in the second half of that game. So
Yeah.
if you have a team who, if we're looking at Villanova, no, they're not going to blow the doors off you and there's going to be a 150-point game. I don't see that. They can win close, they can play defense. And we talked about going from a 7-man rotation to a 6 rotation. They're kids. Like these are 19, 20-year-old guys. They can play 2 games with just 6 guys. I understand it is a short amount of time. They've been playing a certain amount of games. But if they go 6 deep, assuming there's no foul trouble, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Villanova can pull off this upset.
I think it's interesting, too. If this game was 1 week earlier, I think that Kansas would have been an easy lock because Gillespie did get banged up in his last game. But now he's had 2 weeks to rest. I don't think his injury will be that much of a problem. Let's move over to the number 8 seed North Carolina Tar Heels versus number 2 Duke Blue Devils. The first time in tournament history that this rivalry is actually going to play out. Duke are a 4.5-point favorite. Bobby, who do you like and why?
Duke. Short answer, Duke. I actually like them given the points as well. I mentioned my other future. I've had 2 futures on this entire tournament. One, Villanova to win it all. The other, I put in an entire futures bet of like Super Bowl, the Masters, NBA Finals, and my college basketball winner was Duke. So I'm 1-0 with the Rams winning the Super Bowl. 2-0 if Duke gets this, and then I'm going to focus all my attention on Justin Thomas. But for this specifically, I do like the Duke team. Obviously, they're the more talented of the 2. There is the motivation factor because, 1, North Carolina blew the pants off them in Coach K's farewell, and it's Coach K's farewell. So I'm going to go with the more talented team. I'm going with Duke.
Miles, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going with both dogs here. Not only am I taking North Carolina +4, but I'm going to take North Carolina money line as well. Now, before the tournament started, Duke was my team that I picked that I trusted the most to get to the Final Four. But now that we're here, I got to go based on what I've seen. North Carolina has been so impressive in this tournament, and I'm liking some against the spread stats, which I'm a sucker for. Duke is 12-20 against the spread as a favorite versus UNC since 2000. North Carolina, hot at covering the spread right now. Last 10 games, 8-2 against the spread. But I think the key to this game here is going to be North Carolina's 3-point shooting that has been so good in this tournament. And for Duke playing Texas Tech and Arkansas, those teams did not shoot well from deep against them. 12 of 39 in those games. I think if North Carolina can keep up that pressure, it's going to put a little bit more pressure on Duke each possession than what they've been seeing. I don't like going against Coach K in his last Final Four. Trust me. It's something that I thought about. But I'm going with my gut here, and I'm taking a North Carolina-Villanova final.
You guys want to talk about futures? Let's talk about futures. I put in 1 future to start the season, and that was on Kansas. I put in 1 future to start the NCAA tournament, and that was on North Carolina. A dream scenario for me would be Kansas, North Carolina. And I was actually more than impressed with how North Carolina has looked throughout this entire tournament, covering in every single game. I am going with North Carolina. And Miles, you hit the head on the nail. For me, Duke has yet to play a perimeter team who can hurt them. You think about the Duke versus Miami game was the last time that they played a very strong team on the perimeter, and Miami gave them almost every ounce that they could have. A couple turnovers for Miami and empty possessions allowed Duke to get back into the game and win that game. However, I'm backing UNC. I got to stick with my gut here. We're going experience over youth once again. And the leader of experience on this team, Mr. Glow Up himself, Brady Manick. I am taking his over 3 prop, over 2.5. I selfishly got the line at plus 105, and I gave it out on Discord. Sorry, this is not Discord. The line's minus 120 now, but I'm still taking it. Brady Manick has hit this number in every single game every single game in this tournament. And we have a guy who needs to hit 3. He's taking on average 8.5 threes per game, hitting an average of 4.75. 4.75. Just did that math in my head. Sorry. I'm liking Duke. I'm liking North Carolina, liking the threes. Please, please, please give me a Kansas North Carolina final so I can cash one. But Bobby, if you want Villanova to get in there, I have Villanova in a spreads pool, and they're my last team. if Villanova wins, please let North Carolina win. I mean, please let them win it all, so I win everything, and they have to cover against North Carolina.
Miles, I got an angle for you. If you like both dogs, if you like Nova and you like UNC, Jalen Samuels to win Most Outstanding Player, which is I think who's going to have to really show up if Nova's going to win. I mentioned already 15-1. Caleb Love, Most Outstanding Player of the tournament, 20-1.
Ooh,
so if you think either of these two underdogs, and the beauty is they don't meet each other in the Final Four, they would both meet each other in the championship. So if you bet both and one of your underdogs hits, your future's still alive. You still have 15-1 and 20-1. I do think these are the two best players. I like Samuels more than Gillespie, at least for a title run. And Caleb Love, 30 and 23 already in the tournament, 22 against Duke in their last game. So if you like UNC, I implore you to take a look at Caleb Love, 20-1 to win Most Outstanding Player. I'm going with Samuels, but it's just another way to get a little bit more value if you really do like these underdogs.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. And Caleb Love averaging 18 a game in the tournament. He's been tearing it up. I like both of those picks, especially, with me liking North Carolina Nova. I might throw a little wager on both of those. I like where you're going there.
Hey, that's a good one. And one thing about Samuels, too, that a lot of people aren't recognizing, I didn't even think about the Most Outstanding market at all, not even like remotely. But one thing about Samuels is even if him and Gillespie have a comparable game for these last two games, they're both seniors. They're not going to just hand it to Gillespie because he's been there the longest.
Yeah,
that's what I love about awards like that. A lot of these awards, when it's really close, they give it to that guy who got you there. And you got to think that Samuels played a huge part in this tournament run.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Guys, thank you so much. So, okay, wait. Just real quick, everyone just tell me who their national champion is. I'll start first. I'm going with Kansas.
Villanova.
Bobby? You have Villanova. Miles, who
short-handed be damned, Villanova.
I got North Carolina over Nova. Never thought I was going to say that 3 weeks ago, but I got North Carolina taking the whole thing.
Man, I think this is probably one of the most exciting Final Fours because these are the teams that every single fan of college basketball knows, whether you're a small fan or a big fan. Let's just have a great Saturday, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Mr. Brad Thomas. If you want to follow Bobby, it's at Prop Holiday, 2 L's. Follow Miles at Miles on Sports. Follow both podcasts at What's the Spread _ and at Bankroll Blitz. Best of luck. Take care.
Later, guys.